This is my friend Sonny. He manages assets over £80 million today, but he has a massive side hustle, Momlette. Momlette is this halal British brunch Bengali concept that turned a 14-seater small cafe into a smash hit that grossed over £500,000 in year one. And then they added the second branch, which is where I'm meeting him today to learn more about it. And in 2026, he tells me it's going to become a franchise. In this episode, I am going to sit down with Sonny to learn all of the entrepreneurial lessons that we can take from his journey, from very, very humble backgrounds, all the way to the success he's had to date. All right, so you started up this startup as well, right?
Yeah.
And it was a startup that it's almost like the Uber Eats kind of thing, right? But for artisanal indie baker type people.
Yeah.
So that if I wanted to buy, I don't know, like cookies or like, I don't know, artisanal bread from someone in Forest Gate, I can communicate with them and do that.
Yeah.
And it actually started to take off.
Yeah. When you said the Uber Eats or whatever, it actually hurt me a bit.
Oh, really?
Because we were before Uber Eats. So one thing I discovered is early 2014, 15, like Instagram became big for three different things. Muas, makeup artists, fashion, and food. And I realized that, like for instance, my sisters, my mom, they're buying stuff from these influencers. Guess how? They would literally DM them, I want to buy your salwar kameez, I want to buy your cake. And they would say, okay, X is going to cost this much. You come to my house, pick it up, pay me cash. That's how they were transacting. I was like, this is amazing, like illegal, but amazing. Like my sister's buying cupcakes from this random lady down the road just because she posts really nice pictures of it with no food hygiene certificate, with no security, nothing.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about it.
So I thought these lovely ladies and these lovely guys that are making it, they need some services. One of them is obviously payment processing, that they don't need to take cash from someone of the delivery service, and some food hygiene regulation stuff to help them through that. So I just put that service together, called it Dinner Share, and lo and behold, nearly every single one I offered the service to, they registered the very same day, and we went from 0 to 1,000 users in one night because we did a fairly decent launch. And so we spread from London, East London to South, to North, then finally to West. Then we got some people in Liverpool took it, and then Manchester, a lot of the university towns as well. And so we were doing really well in that process of getting people on board, because these people already had an audience. That's what I realized. That's another methodology of business that I've learned. You don't have to create your own. You can latch onto an existing network and existing audience. That's the best way to do it. So we were going into people's networks that they already had garnered and nurtured. So they were 50K followers, 100K followers, 200K followers. They had a ready audience, and we just made it available for them to sell directly to their customers in a legal, safe way. It kind of sold itself. And then after all that work that we did, COVID hit, and it hit really hard.
Must have meant overnight the business goes to basically
it
zero.
Seemed like it went to nothing. Yeah, I remember I was like, what is this? Like, what are we supposed to do here?
And how much were you turning over at this point per month?
We were turning over a fair bit. We were in the six figures.
Wow.
So we were really, and the difficulty was that our systems broke very quickly as well, because we never prepared for it.
Yeah.
Our website broke, our payment platform broke. Our payment platform actually said you have to go from one tier to another, and that's going to take another, you need to go through a process for that, KYC. We never did any of that.
Wow.
So we were like, okay, all right. And so there was a lot of that stuff that we weren't very aware of, because my background was marketing, and communication. My business partner was technology, and the tech part of it. But there was anything in between. Yeah. We didn't even bring in people to.
No legal, no finance.
No legal, no finance, no
product,
accounting.
Nothing.
No product, nothing. So it was just me and him. So, and that was quick. We're talking about a space of 7 months.
Wow.
all of that happened.
This is why this is a part-time thing still.
Yeah, I was doing it on the side.
Yeah.
Tells you something about working in civil service as well. I feel somewhat efficient. You can do all your work in one day and have the rest of the day, week free, which is exactly the case with me.
Yeah.
And that's why I was able to build a business on the side. So once COVID hit, and we were in direct talks for financing of various sorts, usually mostly through venture and some angel as well. And soon as and we needed that as well to build the next round of developments that we needed, bring in the team, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Because even though we had turnover, not much of it was profit. It was all
of course, yeah.
thing. So we needed that support. And then as soon as COVID hit, everything dried up. People stopped picking up calls. And so me and my business partner looked at each other, had a bit of a panic, and opened one of the emails from a private equity firm, internationally based. I think they were just fishing, and we took it quite seriously. They offered to buy it. We said, let's get this conversation started. We went in, saying we'll sell it for X. They said, yeah, come, let's do this.
7 figures.
We gave a decent figure, but through that conversation and the due diligence that they made us go through, they managed to really tear us down in terms of confidence.
Did you have lawyers and accountants on your side?
Not really, no.
It was just you two?
Yeah, because first of all, no one was even communicating at that time. It was that period, no one was really...
NDAs, do you put any NDAs in place?
They put NDAs in place.
They put NDAs
They put very strict NDAs in place, yeah.
What's that all about? You're the ones who are selling?
Yeah, and they said, we're buying, so we need you to abide by X, Y, and Z. I genuinely think we were taken for a ride. They just said, if you're not going to sell, just buy someone else.
Yeah.
Actually, let's just sell.
Yeah.
So yeah, we panic sold, and that was a big experience and big learning as well, because we realized that we really aren't the businessmen that we think we are. I'm just a marketer, actually. You're just a technology guy.
Yeah.
So that drove me in a direction, drove him in another direction. I went further into education. I wanted to do my master's in business to kind of learn some of the things that I really would have helped me in this whole process.
You went to Cambridge, right?
And I did my MBA in Cambridge. And yeah, I genuinely believe it gave me a lot of the insights that I lacked, because I've never been a numbers person, never been a maths person. I got an E. I said I'm a straight E. I'm a straight C student. Only in maths I got an E, and I never retook it either.
That's mad.
So yeah, that helped.
Coming back to the that experience with this firm, do you have any regrets?
I think we were very protective, overly protective, and overly insular for no reason. Subsequently, I've learned that no one really is out to rob you. I recently had someone send me say, "Can I share some idea with you?" Like a potential mentee, basically. I said, "Yeah, share whatever idea." And they said, "But it's very secret, and you need." I said, "Bro, I genuinely don't have the time of day to steal from you. If my Islam didn't stop me, even then I wouldn't be able to. I don't have. I doubt it's even that good. And let's say it is that good, yeah. I just don't have the time. Yeah, I've got enough things going on."
Yeah.
So I realized I was in that position. And then I gave him further advice, bro, I was there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't think everyone's. So we were like that. We were a bit like, no. If I was a bit more smarter, one of the things I would have just brought in a bunch of people, either as advisors or employees or whatever it is. We never did that. But yeah, just get the help you need. Don't. And I became a bottleneck for the business. I realized I was the bottleneck. My business partner was less so. He was very open and wanting to engage. I was more like, no, we can do it. That hubris actually did, I think, definitely did bite us in the backside.
If someone else is going through that same experience, what's a telltale sign that they're being too tight?
One of them is if you come away from every conversation thinking, "Oh, I knew that," or if you are speaking to someone who is objectively, we're talking about just opinion, objectively, measurable metrics, he's done more than you, he or she's done more than you, yeah. Don't think you know more than him. Yeah. Which is probably where I was.
Right.
And I'm happy to admit that it was a shortcoming of mine. But yeah, if you feel like that, brother or sister, you are not that. Just take a step back and just open up.
Yeah. And so you went to Cambridge, you did your MBA, you came out, and then you've basically reinvented yourself as an entrepreneur, both in the real estate space. I want to talk about that, and you're doing some very interesting stuff in the real estate space, thinking about how the built environment reflects how societies, interact with each other, and in houses as well. So really interested to find out a bit more about that. And then I really want to talk about this Momlette stuff. We're sat in Momlette right now. It's a fantastic restaurant. It's one of two. And then you've got Kismet Cafe as well. Let's start on the real estate.
Sure. So during my MBA, we were still going through in the throes of COVID and the slowdown and all that stuff. I just realized a lot of the things I'm talking about now. My discovery of those things was during my MBA, because A, you get to meet new people. B, you're actually got a mentor and a coach, and they're kind of letting you know what your gaps are. Through that self-reflection, I realized that actually there's a big opportunity for me right now, and that was in commercial real estate, specifically commercial. That a lot of these are just emptying out. You must remember that all the offices were empty. Post-COVID, yeah. And no one was ready to take them. So I started approaching a lot of these empty offices, the owners of them, and started offering to take them. And they were like, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah, I'll take it, but on these terms," which was short term, and with the proviso that I can sublet this, that, and the other. And so we took the leap, me and my new business partner. We took the leap into commercial real estate and essentially started creating hubs of spaces for community, for startups, for shared workspaces, arts hubs and these kind of things. And it kicked off really well. Even with the naysayers saying, "Oh, what are you doing? You can't be doing this during COVID. No one wants to be in offices." There was a lot of people that wanted offices, especially new businesses.
Yeah.
It was such a strange phenomenon, because while the big businesses were saying our workers don't want to work in offices, there was a whole bunch of small startups and just self-employed sole traders wanting spaces, and we were able to make those spaces affordable and become a platform for them to grow from, because we took it on very favorable terms at a time where it was a buyer's market.
Tough, yeah.
So yeah, that became a way for us to go into the property market, and we've been in there since then. So commercial real estate has been my thing. It's only now I'm delving into a bit more seriously into the residential.
And what is this thinking about residential that we were talking about extended families, and you've got this dream of creating something for extended families? How does that work?
So
why should it work?
Yeah, why should it? If I can digress ever so slightly on this, I have an observation that a lot of society has been taken forcefully down a route of like some level of degeneration. Yeah, and our food has degenerated, our ways of thinking has degenerated, our education has degenerated, our families and our social lives have and there's different things that have been put in place by the powers that be to drive that. Food, for instance, simple honey, started pasteurizing it, has no nutrients left. Honey isn't honey anymore, it's just syrup. Milk, same thing. Our meats, again, like filled with all sorts of toxins and whatnot. That's one thing. Family, again, the breakdown of the family, the laws that were put in place kind of incentivize the breaking up of families. So society and makeup of society, for me, one of the ways that they managed to do that is first and foremost in the early 50s, for instance, the promotion of the nuclear family, which flies in the face of all traditional understanding of family. And you experience that as when you first have kids, you're like, is this normal for me to feel like this? Me and my wife constantly looking after this one child in one house without anyone else's support. Is that normal? And you really kind of start thinking to yourself, like, actually, this isn't normal. And you start remembering that actually there was a time when this wasn't the case. extended families played a role in the development of A, you, and B, the wider society. So that was driven by, first and foremost, the promotion of the nuclear family, which I think is somewhat unnatural, but that's only gone worse. They've taken it into the more and more individualization approach. That was the first step for that individualization, or I would call it isolation, and we've just become more isolationist since then, because now you have properties that are primarily being built for no children families. Or because I'm in the development world, I know that like the majority of the properties that are being built in London, for instance, are for either singles or maybe even single parent families. So they make 2 single rooms, one for one parent, one for one child.
Wow.
So these are all mechanisms that drive a population in a certain direction. And I think that society needs to go back to the connecting up and pooling efforts. So brothers, if you're 3 brothers, 3 sisters, whatever it is, you guys shouldn't be in 3 disparate places, doing 3 different things, paying 3 different rents, paying 3 different bills and you should be pooling together and putting your efforts in one place and taking big steps. The current makeup of our developments, property developments, new and old, don't lend themselves to that, because they're still catering to either nuclear or less.
Yeah.
Where nuclear, as in 2.3 or less, yeah. But I want to get into with my residential development plans. I want to start building families that cater to the vision of extended families.
Interesting.
That way you can house your parents with you, or you can house, or brothers and sisters can be housed close to each other, and they can work together and develop together as well.
Successful entrepreneurs have this, right, where they've got this thesis about the world. Not just like, all right, this is a trend, but it can be deeper than that, which is this is how it should be, right? And it's like no one's really telling you or me that that's what we want, but it's kind of an intuition that drives at the sense of unease that someone or many people feel, and saying this is that unease, right? Articulating that and then coming up with a solution to the problem. Which I think is brilliant.
I think also comfort starts setting in. Sometimes I can feel my courage like slowly chipping away as well, as more things are added to my life, children, house, this, that, because all it does is anchor you, where at one point I was just a free agent. Wherever I wanted to go, wherever I wanted to just give it a go, throw myself at it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But that's so that's why like a time is of the essence. You need to do it while your courage is high and the metal is hot.
Let's talk about Momlette, and let's talk about your Alim course, but let's do it over at the carom board. Let's see what you're made of.
You wanna? Okay, come, let's do it.
This is it's home territory. This is going to be a challenge, because I don't know how good you are at playing carom board and also talking at the same time.
Let's see. I don't know how good I am either.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the shot, and then I'm going to ask a question.
Go on, let's see.
So, is it all right? No, I don't think I got anything.
Anyway.
It's a good split, and you can't go backwards, can you?
You're not supposed to do this.
Yeah,
you're supposed to.
it's the dodgy one. All right, fine. So, your Alim course, does it still play a role in your day-to-day life, do you think?
So the whole reason for me doing the Alim course was, oh, nice.
I'm not messing around. I'm not messing around.
It wasn't to take up employment as an imam or be known as Sheikh this, Sheikh that.
Yeah.
It was just for my own personal development and my innate desire to know more.
Yeah.
And that's what actually is driving my current progress. One of the courses that or subject matters that we dealt with, as you'll recall, in the Alim course was the Qawaid.
Yeah.
And those Qawaid are indispensable for me. They play a part in everything that I do. And I'm able to quickly make decisions. They're heuristics, right? With them, you're able to quickly make decisions on what is you will do, what is you won't do. And the decisiveness that's needed for business really comes from my understanding of those Qawaid that we learned through the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, like, or the Quranic ayat, وَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ فَتَوَكَّلُوا عَلَى اللَّهِ. It's very important. Like, when you make a decision, go with it with full force and put your trust in God. Being able to have those learnings at your disposal is very important for me. And if I didn't, I know I wouldn't be the businessman or man in my career that I am now.
Yeah. Momlette, how did it start? Where's all this come from?
Yeah, Momlette is. Sometimes I ask myself, where did it and how did it start? So I've actually, would you believe it, actively avoided going into food.
Oh, really?
Mainly because I didn't want to be pigeonholed
So
as
cliche, isn't it?
one of those Bengali restaurateurs.
Yeah.
Just wasn't my
Listen to
thing.
that, Kabzi. Listen to that, Kabzi.
Not the Bengali part, the restaurateurs part.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just didn't want that. But this was basically, not this one, the first one. It was me and my business partner were like having a late evening in the office, and we got a phone call, random one, saying, "Oh, there's a business, distressed one. It's about to go out of business. Do you want it? Very cheap price." And me and him looked at each other like, at the very least, we can just have our meetings there. Like, I can go over and just meet my friends. You can meet your political friends and whatnot.
Yeah.
And that's how it started. We just decided to go ahead with it on that basis. But me and him, where you asked about how Islamic learning affects my business. I know that whatever you do as a Muslim, do it with ihsan, even if you're doing zabiha. Do it with ihsan. So even though that was the mentality we went into, saying it's just going to be a place for us to chill, we said, okay, let's put some effort into the branding, put some effort into the menu, blah blah blah, and we did it with the expectation that me and him are just going to chill and we're going to meet. But it became such a hit thereafter.
And you called it Momlette?
We called it Momlette.
Oh, right, okay. And what made it a hit?
We just went viral online. We were trending on a number of the food blogs and food Instagram.
And what caused that? Is it your communication skill, or what was it?
I think it was just. You need to follow that one up.
Sorry, don't worry. I've got a plan. I am gonna go.
Nah, sorry.
Haris, you jinxed me.
We approached it with a lot of, sounds cliched, but with a lot of sincerity, because the restaurant, the cafe that we took over was in Shoreditch, a very trendy part of London.
Oh, really? So not here?
No, it's in Shoreditch. They're just down the road.
That's the original?
Yeah, that's the original.
Oh,
this is
interesting.
And it was an attempt by non-hipsters to be hipster cafe. So we had the option of continuing it and pretending to be hipsters in that very hipster part of London. But instead of doing that, we thought, listen, this is Brick Lane. This used to be called, and still by us at least, is called Bangla Town.
Yeah.
We need to represent that old school 90s, early 2000s Bangla Town here.
Damn right.
Why don't we just do like a fusion of Bengali flavors with a cafe twist, rather than just doing your normal sourdough nonsense. Sourdough and avocado stuff. So we went and we put a bit of thought into what that would look like. We took the full English and we took it, made it into half English, half Deshi. We introduced the momlette. What we call the momlette. It's actually a omelette wrapped in paratha with our flavors, that kind of stuff.
Oh, I see.
And we made everything our own, basically. However, we used to make some of these English classics in our homes, how my mum used to make it. That's the ingredients that we applied. And so we were sincere in that sense. We weren't trying to be something we're not. I think that's what resonated with the people a lot. People from all around the world, all around the country, saw what we did and thought, let's give it a try. And most people became fans. So that's how it became a hit.
And again, it's like this kind of this drive of thinking from first principles that I really love. You're doing, at some level, right? In business, you are doing things that have been done before. Other people have done food startups. Other people have done, commercial real estate. Other people have done restaurants. But the thing that I feel is giving you a little bit of an edge, I don't know if you feel like that, is the fact that you've got a point of view. So it's not just about margins and copying.
Yeah.
It's a point of view.
Yeah.
And you have a vision of where the world should be.
Yeah, exactly. There's a philosophy that underpins the nuts and bolts of the business, and that's not necessarily a conscious way of doing it. I don't sit there and say, okay, let's formulate some sort of overarching theme or philosophy for this business. It's just basically how me and my business partner have been trained from our birth and from our upbringing, that this is how you do things. And obviously a lot of that is underpinned by our understanding of Islam. Sincerity, hard work, ihsan, and basically just tawakkul. After you put these components in, put your trust in Allah, see where it goes. Sometimes it doesn't work, like my first business did not work. It did not go anywhere. I did not become rich off of it, but I came away with a lot of contacts, a lot of influence, a lot of learning. So yeah, this whole thing about approaching with tawakkul, approaching with azima, is essential to, I think, our business. And yeah, you're right, a point of view, having an idea of what should be is very important. And I think I got a bit of that from the likes of, for instance, Steve Jobs. I read his autobiography quite keenly, in fact, and it's almost like he would say, okay, I know the world is, I don't know, the sea is blue, but I think it should be purple. And he drove towards making it purple. And that type of tenacity and audacity is I think essential. And what was the phrase that he had? You can tell I'm a proper early 2090s guy. Those are my like inspirational points. And what was it? The Apple advert. The people who change the world are the ones that are crazy enough to think they can. And you do have to be some level of crazy to drive for, you know, a thesis that you don't see in reality.
I'll put you out your misery in this one.
Oh yeah.
No.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, if I think about me opening a restaurant, coming from a tech business, because that's all I know, I'm quite scared. I don't really know what, like, I try and stay out of the kitchen as much as I can, and now I'm running a commercial kitchen. Was it daunting at the start, or was it just because of the Bangla heritage, you were straight into it, or?
No, it was daunting, because A, I'm not a retail person.
Yeah.
B, I'm not a food person.
Yeah.
And C,
not a restaurant person.
I actively wanted to avoid restaurants.
Yeah.
Like philosophically, I wanted to. So yeah, it was daunting. But my business partner was really good. He's a foodie.
He's a foodie. Okay, that
actually
helps.
enjoys food.
Yeah.
I just eat food just enough to keep my back straight, kind of thing. So he was a foodie, and the other thing was that I think we had a lot of support from like my mum, my aunt, my dad. My dad was a chef.
Oh,
previously.
was he? Okay.
So these people all just chipped in and helped us create a menu. Retail is very cutthroat. Food is even more cutthroat. And yeah, it's very difficult, and you just need to be able to take it on the chin when people are just a bit off on that day, and you make them a bit more off by maybe being late by a fraction of a second.
And what is it like dealing with a different type of employee? And what I mean by that is, I work in a tech firm or investments, and you've got people who are like ex, banking, accountancy, whatever, good corporate backgrounds. In retail, fast food kind of stuff, you're dealing with students. You might be dealing with people who are like on 0-hour contracts. It's a very different vibe. Mm-hmm. How was that like as an adjustment?
That was actually a very good question, because that was a very big step and a very big move away from what I was used to. Because not just, for instance, just the staff, but the clientele, of course, is completely different. I'm used to dealing with, like people who are businessmen, with businesswomen, business people, people with like entrepreneurs. They've got their own drive. You don't have to motivate them. That's the clientele. And when it comes to staff, again, dealing with people with administrative skills, understanding of numbers and that kind of stuff. And then you come to retail food. A lot of people, it's their only it might be their first job. It might be their only area that they've done, and they don't really know anything to do with the books or tech systems and that. So and keeping those type of people motivated is a completely different ball game to the staff that work in an office, in my back office, or in my real estate business. And that was a learning for me.
How do you do it?
I almost had to go. I had to go back and read books. Literally, I had to go back and read a number of books on how to motivate, how to, inspire and kind of bring onto the same journey as I would have with my other staff for this new audience. And it was an amazing experience because I learned to kind of communicate and bring on board people who otherwise I would not have had an experience to talk with even. I don't know.
Is it me?
Yeah, it's you.
What would you say to them practically? So let's say I've set up a shop. Let's not call it Momlette. Let's call it what should we call it, Kabzi? The Sadkabad Express. Now I've got like 5 staff. How many staff would you have in a restaurant?
Yeah, depending on the size. Yeah, 5. Let's say Momlette size is
okay.
5, 6.
5 staff. And one of them's like an experienced chef. One of them is like my kind of front of house type person, and then you've got 3 others who are kind of helping out in the kitchen, doing various things. What am I saying to each of those people, the 3 types, right? The runaround people, the front of house, and the chef. What am I saying to get the best out of them? Like get the best, make this the best job they've ever done.
Yeah. For this situation, really is about human story, humanizing the whole situation and bringing it like a level above numbers, profits, takings, and all that stuff. You have to talk about them as they've got a family. We know they're here leaving the family, they're working with you, they're giving you their time. That part, acknowledge that. People coming through the door, your customers, they're hungry. We're doing them a service that what our parents, my mom did when I was born. Yeah, feeding. It's one of the most noblest things you can do. So we're not here just doing a job. We're actually doing a very, very noble. They're paying for it, but even then, like there's a number of things that we do that's comes from our ihsan, not just because they're paying for it. Like it's decoration, it's the fact that it's hot and not lukewarm, these kind of things. So people need to be made aware of and just reminded that this is actually something important for people.
Economics. What is a successful restaurant from a commercial perspective? Turnover, margins. Like what would make me happy now that I've set up the Sadkabad Express? How much would I expect to put in? How much would I expect to turn over? How much would I expect to make?
There's a saying, doing small things takes as much effort as doing big things.
Oh, really? Okay.
And this is the case with restaurants and food businesses. I put in maybe the same, if not more effort I do in the restaurant than my real estate businesses. And the takings are probably not even like a fraction.
Wow. In the restaurant world?
Yeah, because it's just not that
lucrative.
Lucrative, yeah. You don't do it because of the money. No one does. Unless I was working here full time. Yeah. My mum was working here. My sisters were working here. Then it would be like it's a lifestyle business. It supports our lifestyle. But we don't. I have staff. I have a manager. So unless you're working towards a big branded exit kind of journey, it's not really what you get into for money's sake. We again, even this one, the second branch, we didn't make it because of the money we thought we would make out of it. It's because we have a vision for its franchising and growth and whatnot, and this is like a center of excellence, bigger store kind of thing. And B, we also thought we now need a bigger place to meet and do this kind of stuff. And so I'm able to do that here. So yeah, it's nice to have a restaurant, but it's not like a money spinner.
It's nice decor. Who came up with all this like decor stuff?
It's more my business partner.
Is that
He's more of the aesthetics guy.
Okay. Fantastic.
So you can see the tables are obviously modelled on the carom board, and although they're not.
Is it not an actual carom board?
It's not actually. In the first store, they were actual carom boards.
Oh, really?
They were very troublesome, in fact.
Oh, really?
Carom boards I meant to be eaten on.
Understandable.
They would swell up and all that stuff. So we made tables that look like carom boards.
Very clever.
Yeah.
Very clever. Is it an actual? Is it like?
It's a real one, yeah.
It's
The engine we took out.
You took the engine out?
Yeah. But we can put back in and drive it up and down.
Where did you buy it from?
This is
Gumtree.
Bajaj one.
Dinner share.
But you can buy it. They're on this marketplace also. Yeah.
So Sonny, you set all this up, and then it wasn't enough. You wanted to do a Kismet Cafe. How did that whole thing happen?
So I know it's got cafe in the name, but it's primarily a art gallery.
Yeah.
We buy and sell art.
Yeah.
You remember the whole thing around NFTs?
Yeah. I don't know what I bought. It was hideous. It was a hideous thing.
You paid for that piece of art.
Unfortunately.
No matter how hideous it was, on the proviso and the understanding that it will appreciate. Yes.
That was what I was told.
And and probably it did at one point.
It probably
maybe not
did,
your
yeah.
one, but others.
Yeah.
And those were pixels, and I can copy and paste. I can screenshot that. I had that experience, same as yours. Yeah. And I did experience some appreciation and so on and so forth. But at that point, I discovered something. I realized that people do appreciate art.
Yeah, they
and
do.
It does have a quality intrinsic.
Yeah.
And people are prepared to put money in it, and they do appreciate. And it's a holder of
It's true.
value. And I realized that people are prepared to put money in this, and not just that money appreciates. And I really want to introduce this whole concept to the Muslim community of art as a thing that deserves appreciation, as a holder of value.
Yeah.
Is not well understood by the
Yeah.
So for instance, for any art that we sell, we have a lot of it, we have buyback guarantee.
Oh, really?
So whatever you bought from me, so for instance, I bought a piece from my own gallery, and I got a certificate saying the gallery will buy it back from me at that price.
Oh, wow.
Anytime I want to sell it, because we are confident in the fact that A, not only will it hold its value, but B, it will appreciate. So if at any point you need to liquidate that, I will buy it back, but I know that its value has gone up.
Fascinating.
So this is two things that I want to do. A, get the appreciation for art up within the Ummah and the artists.
Yeah.
Art is not just entertainment. Art is through which minds are shaped.
Yeah.
Culture is shaped. Minds are shaped.
Yeah.
So we need to go back and put effort back into that work.
Yeah.
That's the first and foremost my goal with Kismet. And secondary is the concept that it actually holds money. It actually increases money.
Yeah.
And through that, you can make money as well. This art that we're seeing that's popularized now, it's got an agenda behind it. It's got a plan behind it, and it's got a driving force behind it. And they know that they're doing that, and a lot of money is going behind that because they know it drives culture. So all this talking has made me hungry. Let's get some food going.
Let's do it. Oh, wow. Look at this. What? This is...
So that's our half English.
Oh, my God. This is some impressive food. You know what?
Steak and chips. And that's... so you can see what we do. It's basically
Very clever.
Corruption of traditional English food. This is the Scotch egg with all halal ingredients, which many people have not seen previously.
Wow.
What we call the half English. We've taken the full English and made it half English and half Deshi. And obviously they're a very traditional take on the steak and chips.
Wow. There's a fine crispness to the texture, and it's simultaneously there's a fluid layer of saltiness to the flavor spectrum, and as you bite into it, there's a juiciness that is exhibited. That brilliant. And this is not a omelette, is it? This is just the omelette.
This is
This is not the.
This is not the omelette, but the eggs are
It kind of becomes an omelette like this.
You would like that, it does, yeah.
This takes me back to the smell of rickshaws, and you can hear the shouting and the cursing of Bengali, and for me, I guess in Urdu, Urdu people who are shouting at the chalk. Because they want people to go with them to Rawalpindi. And at the side of the road, well, you're really, really hungry. There's a beauty to just sitting down and eating simple food that's made with love. What's next?
I really want to go further into this art world and see what kind of platforms we can create for various type of artists. And when I say art, I mean in the broader sense, including movie makers, including traditional art and theatre and so on and so forth. We need to make a platform for them to be able to do their thing and really shape the world that we see around us. And then right now I'm in talks to put together a fund of about 250 million to buy, convert and develop properties in London to house London's homeless families. We have a good memorandum of understanding with the mayor's team to be able to get on that as a means of public-private partnership thing.
Are we ever going to retire?
You know, where did this concept of retirement come from? There was a phrase, Imam Ahmed, his son came up to him and said, Mata raha, when are we going to relax? You don't let us relax. Everything's like just hardship after.
Yeah.
And he said, with the first step into our
Jannah.
graves.
Oh, right.
That's when you rest.
That's true.
Before that, you know, we weren't put in this earth to just live it up.
Allahu Akbar. Sonny, it's been a pleasure
Barakallahu
and an
feek.
honor.
You too.
Good luck.
Good to meet you. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khairan.